Hi guys, I just want to say that I'm so surprised in how many of us are using independent reasoning to assess the events that are happening before our very own eyes. You guys are amazing. I don't know everyone's backgrounds, of course, but we are seeing through a lifetime of fog together to emerge with clarity and a poised courage as our world changes. Today it's looking at this fog and peeling back the layers of the enigmatic haze, which will include not one community comment or question, but two. So before we get to the questions, let's do a little background. Since November 2024, many countries have reported unusual drone and unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP sightings, including the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, Argentina, Belgium, Brazil, Germany, Ireland, Hungary, Lithuania, Norway, and Sweden. Then at Christmas 2024, many reports emerged of a mysterious, dense fog accompanied by a chemical-like odor or taste. This fog has been reported in numerous U.S. states, the United Kingdom, and Canada, which coincidentally are the three countries with the most drone and UAP sightings. The U.S. government has been very secretive about these alleged drone sightings. Donald Trump said they know what is going on and should tell us. So the obvious question to ask is whether the government created this strange fog with HARP or similar technology to impede the deployment of these aircraft. And apparently, I'm not the only one that has considered such things. I did a little research, and the first thing I wanted to know is if this prolonged, unusual fog could be a natural occurrence. Then we need to determine what these large particles in the fog are and why they are causing illness. So there are really several different areas of focus that we should examine to answer our questions. I've always been unique in my thought, and while I may not always be right, my curiosity has always led me to new horizons. So let's get into this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, and ring the bell. Your interaction is how this channel has reached so many people so quickly. If you've seen some of my other videos, you understand that I feel that my entire life has led me to this point, and that my ability to assist in disclosure is heaven sent. Okay, so we know that the drones are flying around. The government doesn't have a clue what to tell us. The drones were dominating the news with an inundation of credible video footage of the existence of UFOs. And what's more, the ETs appear to be getting pretty bold. The military tried their best technology to stop the so-called drones and other anomalous flying crafts, and it didn't work. People are communicating with them, and people are freaking out and demanding answers from the government which we never got. It's called obfuscation. So then poof! A mysterious, widespread, and persistent fog descends upon the world, specifically concentrated in the areas that had the most unexplained air activity. Both the fog and the drones have been seen in many cities around the world, so if you notice this connection in your area, please post. So, it's not just any fog. When a light is shown on it, people could document large particles sparkling in the dense fog. And as if that wasn't concerning enough, people did indeed start getting sick. Many are reporting that the fog has a burning chemical smell and toxic taste. My husband works outside early in the morning and confirmed the taste. Flu-like symptoms were reported by my sister in New Hampshire, which is how I first learned about the fog. Since then, many have reported flu-like and respiratory symptoms, including sneezing, fever, coughing, sore throat, headache, fatigue, and puffy eyes. Then the media started talking about potential metapneumovirus and bird flu pandemics. There's a phrase that I've heard 17 times, and it is, how many coincidences before it's mathematically impossible? So I think we can say that it's safe to say that this is no ordinary fog, but is it a natural occurrence or is it man-made? A global fog persisting for a prolonged period, such as 7 days, would be an extraordinary event requiring a combination of rare atmospheric, environmental, and possibly human-made factors. Such factors include events such as volcanic activity, climatic anomalies, pollution, or cosmic events or planetary-scale events that impact Earth's atmosphere. These events would need to introduce significant particulate matter gases, or disruptions to atmospheric systems to create such conditions. I'm not aware of any volcanic eruptions or any celestial or other events in the United States that introduce that much particulate matter into our atmosphere, are you? There have been no such assertions by the Pentagon or anyone else. So this definitively justifies consideration of human intervention. The first question comes from Peggy Miller 9064, and here it is.
Have you come across anyone who tested this fog? JP was on Dr. Sala this past week and said we're going to see cigar-shaped cylindrical ships next. It seems like it's moving along rapidly now.
That's an interesting thought, Peggy. You guys are always one step ahead of me. I've been researching the fog, and there's absolutely no reason that the government can't test this fog, but I haven't found any evidence that they have yet. Just like the drones, I think they know what it is. I queried this question and found that governments can test fog to determine its chemical composition and assess its potential dangers to public health and the environment. So my question is, if they can test this stuff, why hasn't the current sitting administration or even a private entity done this? I believe this is war or chess, however you choose to see it. But the drones, the fog, the media diversions with crazy drivers and exploding Teslas, and even an email are all part of this warfare. But now, more of us are questioning these unusual events in a game of psyops. There are numerous tests that are readily available, and I won't bore you with them, but you should know what our government should be putting some resources into doing. They can do air sampling and chemical analysis. They can also analyze particulate matter that is suspended that could be harmful when inhaled. They can also do toxicity testing through bioassays and by testing for sulfur dioxide and hydrogen sulfide. Many have reported a spoiled egg smell, and both sulfur dioxide and hydrogen sulfide have a distinct rotten egg smell. On top of that, both pose significant health risks, including these reported symptoms. But to top that off, hydrogen sulfide can cause respiratory failure or death within a short period of time at high concentrations. So this is really messed up, and people should be demanding that this fog be analyzed in every state and the results be released so that we know what we are dealing with. The fog can also be tested for microbial and pathogen testing to see if there's any bacteria, virus, or fungi in it. It can be tested for radiation, heavy metal, and pH. In fact, some governments and research organizations have specialized fog testing units that deploy mobile labs for exactly this purpose. So what the heck is going on? Well, now there's snowstorms and freezing weather. How fortuitous in an age when global warming is threatening our existence. I don't know, guys. How much do you think is BS? This brings me to our next question from Tamisha Mocker 6487, which I think is right on the money. Tammy asked,
Here's a thought. What if there was some kind of electrical pulse in the fog that disabled the drones?
I'm already there with you, Tammy. Smart dust, which many have said has the same characteristics, are smart dust particles. Are you believing this? They are microelectromechanical systems, which are tiny devices that integrate mechanical and electrical components on a microscale. So I wondered what the use of smart dust would be and started to investigate. Smart dust is also known as nanosensors, wireless sensor networks, nanodust, and of all things, microdrones. Smart dust has a wide range of potential uses and capabilities, particularly in fields that require monitoring, data collection, and interaction with the environment. These uses include environmental monitoring. So are you getting this? The smart dust that appears to be making us sick is monitoring our environment. No, I don't think that's it. Medically, it can be used to monitor vital signs, track disease markers, or provide real-time feedback on the condition of patients. Yeah, well, I don't see that happening unless they are sending back reports of how sick it's making people. These tiny sensors could be spread out over a wide area for surveillance purposes, detecting unauthorized activity, movement, or chemical agents. especially in sensitive or dangerous locations. Okay, so I'll buy that. They could deploy smart dust for surveillance in sensitive or dangerous locations. But they told us that the drones weren't a danger, so that leaves sensitive, and we are back to hiding it from the public. They can be used at monitoring industry and infrastructure, like checking out the structural integrity of a bridge. They have potential for military reconnaissance and weapon detection. Well, they said the drones aren't from a foreign entity, and they pose no threat, so weapon detection seems moot. They can monitor soil conditions for farmers, especially if your name is Monsanto. There's talk about using them in smart cities. I don't care how many buttons I can push instead of moving. I'd prefer not to have the smell, risk, and lack of vision of the fog. Here's the one that perked my ears up, guys. Smart dust could interact with robots, drones, or other autonomous systems to provide them with real-time environmental feedback, enhancing navigation and decision-making capabilities. So these little micro-drones can electrically interact with other autonomous systems like UAPs and orbs. So I then wondered if this smart dust could be used to take down UAPs or drones, and learned that smart dust could be used in large swarms to create communication and navigational signal interference of aircraft. And while it doesn't have an odor in and of itself, if the components of smart dust were embedded in materials or chemicals that have an odor, that could carry over. Then I wanted to confirm that this smart dust really exists, and I found several patents related to smart dust, which describe systems and methods for creating, deploying, and managing microscale sensors or dust particles. Different entities, including universities, research institutes, and companies, have filed patents on different components or uses of smart dust. So I dug a little deeper and learned that Harvard, Berkeley, and Intel have all filed patents related to smart dust. But you aren't going to believe who else has. DARPA, a key player in the development of advanced technologies for military applications, has funded research into smart dust and nanosensor networks. Some patents related to military uses of smart dust exist under DARPA's projects. So I think there's the answer to Tammy's comment. Yes, the fog could be used to electrically interfere with the drones. This is above and beyond the ability of this fog to interfere with the visibility of the drones or UAPs. So, neither side is publicly reporting that they have tested or know what is up with this fog. This reminds me of a child who does something blatantly obvious, and when you ask them what happened, they say, "I don't know. I mean, come on, guys. This is allegedly the most powerful and technologically advanced government and military in the world, and we don't have a frigging clue, but we know it won't hurt us." So we have a fog that impairs visibility and the ability of the UAPs to fly, which also has the ability to interfere with the electronic communication and navigation of an airborne craft. DARPA has patented these micro-electromechanical particles. People are getting sick, and nobody is testing it to see if it's hurting us. So tell me what you think, guys. Do you think people who are cautioning the masses to stay out of the fog are justified? Do you feel safe and comfy with the Pentagon's assertion that we have nothing to worry about? And what about these bombings? Are they just another distraction to get our minds off the drones? An email has come out from the Trump Tower bomber, which creates questions about his motives and any connection to the guy who mowed down a bunch of people in New Orleans. I'm working on a video about the latest media obsession that I hope will bring a little more understanding of how things work when you own everything in the world. The quote that I'm going to leave you with today is a short one by an ancient Greek playwright, Aeschylus. "In war, truth is the first casualty.